Yes, my friends, the Atlanta Falcons have made a move, and this has left many fans with a big question mark in their heads. But why is this? Let's analyze everything. But first, make sure to click the like button and join us for daily news and information. Now, the Atlanta Falcons have made another move in free agency, and this time, it's an addition to the offense that has left fans scratching their heads. The team has signed tight end Tegan Quatoriano, a former fifth-round pick out of Oregon State, originally drafted by the Houston Texans. While this might not be the splashiest signing of the offseason, it does raise some interesting questions about the team's plans at the tight end position and what this move could mean for depth heading into training camp. Quatoriano spent part of last season on the Chicago Bears practice squad, and his career has been defined by two things: injuries and limited production. Through 3 seasons in the NFL, he has never played more than 9 games in a single year and has consistently landed on injured reserve. That's not exactly the kind of track record that inspires confidence, but the Falcons seem to believe there's untapped potential if he can stay healthy. The front office is clearly looking for depth behind Kyle Pitts and Charlie Warner, but can Quatoriano actually compete for a meaningful role? One of the more amusing aspects of this signing is that some Falcons fans are already comparing his name to that of legendary director Quentin Tarantino, thanks to the unusual spelling. But outside of his name, what does he actually bring to the table? Statistically, there's not much to analyze. He has just 9 career receptions for 146 yards and 3 touchdowns. However, that last stat is worth noting. 1 out of every 3 catches he's made in the NFL has gone for a touchdown. Now, obviously, that's a tiny sample size, but hey, if he can keep that kind of efficiency up, maybe there's something there. The reality, though, is that Quatoriano is likely nothing more than a camp body, someone brought in to compete for a final roster spot. The Falcons still have Felipe Franks on the depth chart, a player who has made the transition from quarterback to tight end but has yet to carve out a consistent role. Franks has been with the team for multiple seasons now, and his presence in the competition suggests that Atlanta is still searching for a reliable backup behind Pitts. The fact that Quatoriano has been injury-prone makes it difficult to imagine him suddenly emerging as a major contributor, but stranger things have happened. While Quatoriano's signing is interesting, the real headline for Falcons fans right now revolves around the NFL draft and who the team might target with the 15th overall pick. A recent report from ESPN's Field Yates highlighted that Atlanta was well represented at Marshall's Pro Day, where edge rusher Mike Green put on a show. Green is coming off an incredible college season in which he led the nation in sacks with 17. However, some scouts have questioned whether his dominance was purely a product of facing weaker competition in the Sun Belt Conference. What stood out at Marshall's Pro Day, though, was Green's athletic testing. According to reports, he displayed elite movement skills, explosiveness, and a level of quickness that suggests he could transition well to the NFL level. One major takeaway from the event was that Falcons head coach Raheem Morris was in attendance, which is significant. If Morris himself is making the trip to watch a prospect work out, that means Green is a serious contender to be the pick at number 15. But here's where things get tricky. The Falcons aren't just picking the best player available, they're dealing with a draft board that could be unpredictable. They have multiple needs, and there's no guarantee Green will still be there when they're on the clock. The Chicago Bears, for example, hold the 10th pick and could be looking for a pass rusher. If they don't land their top choice, Green could be their fallback option. The Raiders are also in the market for a defensive playmaker, and if they go with a different position early, Green could slide into the Falcons' range. This is why picking in the middle of the first round requires so much preparation. If Green is Atlanta's plan A, they need to have a plan B and plan C ready to go. Other names that have been linked to the Falcons include Michigan's Will Johnson and Georgia's Jalen Walker. Johnson is considered one of the best cornerbacks in the draft, while Walker's versatility could make him an intriguing option for a defense that is still searching for its identity. For fans who have followed this process closely, Walker's rise up draft boards has been particularly interesting. Just a few weeks ago, he wasn't even on the Falcons' radar for most analysts, but as more scouts have studied his tape, he has emerged as a legitimate top 10 talent. His ability to play multiple roles, whether as an edge rusher, an off-ball linebacker, or a hybrid defender, makes him a perfect fit for what Morris wants to build. The Falcons need impact players on defense, and Walker's versatility might give them more flexibility when it comes to roster construction. At the same time, the Falcons need to be careful not to overthink their pick. The goal should be simple: get the best defensive player available. Whether that's Green, Walker, or someone else, Atlanta can't afford to miss on this selection. They've been stuck in mediocrity for too long, and this draft could be a turning point in setting up a new era for the franchise. So, Falcons fans, let's hear it. What do you think about the Quatoriano signing? Is he just another camp body, or could he actually carve out a role on the team? And when it comes to the draft, do you want the team to go after Mike Green, or would you rather see them target a different defensive playmaker? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If the Falcons' draft strategy wasn't already fascinating, let's talk about the possibility of Atlanta making a bold move up the draft board. There's been increasing speculation that the team could explore a trade-up scenario if a top defensive prospect starts to slide past the early picks. General Manager Terry Fontenot has been aggressive in the past when targeting players he believes can be foundational pieces, and with Raheem Morris now leading the team, a high-impact defensive selection seems inevitable. The biggest wildcard in this scenario? Whether the Falcons view a player like Will Johnson as a true game-changer at cornerback. If the Michigan standout is still available around the 9th or 10th pick, Atlanta could look to jump ahead of a team like the Chicago Bears to secure him. This move would make a lot of sense if the Falcons believe Johnson is the missing piece in their secondary, especially considering how much faith Morris has in building from the back end of the defense forward. At the same time, trading up would mean giving up valuable draft capital, and Fontenot has always been cautious about overpaying. If the Falcons stand pat at 15, the defensive depth in this draft could still allow them to land a difference-maker without sacrificing future picks. Names like Jalen Walker, Mike Green, and even Alabama's Dallas Turner have all been floated as potential fits, depending on how the board shakes out. Beyond the draft, another storyline to watch is the development of Atlanta's young offensive core. With Kirk Cousins still in limbo, the Falcons are preparing as if Michael Penix Jr. will be their starter moving forward. Penix has received strong reviews from the coaching staff, and his deep ball accuracy is something that could open up the offense in ways we haven't seen in years. The key, however, will be surrounding him with enough weapons to succeed. That's why the Falcons' interest in adding a veteran receiver remains a hot topic. Hunter Renfrow's name continues to pop up in rumors, and his fit in Atlanta's system makes sense. Renfrow's ability to work underneath routes would provide a reliable target in critical situations, something that could help a young quarterback settle in. The Falcons need that safety net, especially with Kyle Pitts still working to find consistent chemistry in this offense. So, with all these moving pieces, where do you stand, Falcons fans? Should the team trade up to grab a defensive star, or is staying at 15 the smarter move? And when it comes to weapons for Penix, is Renfrow the right fit, or should the team look elsewhere? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button and subscribe for more exclusive Falcons content. We're just getting started this offseason, and trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Go Falcons!